How's your white doing today, folks? Hey, it's versus on a Monday. Lanterns episode 2 dropped. We got Mark Ruffalo hulking out on Paramount, and Rob Bonta pulls out. We'll talk all those things and more. And I don't know if you know this, Shaquille O'Neal turned down a part in the Avengers. It's wild out there. Before we get started, remind you people, hey, subscribe to the channel. We are inches away from reaching 169,000 subs. Alan has a lot to say about that.
We could literally lick the edge. We're almost there.
Yes, we're edging closer and closer to 169,000. And reminder, go to shop.filmthreat.com. Check out all our merch, including I have to brag a little bit here. I got our merch, these bags, which are like Trader Joe's bags. I love them. I love these bags now. Look at that. So for all your shopping needs, check that out.
So and marriage is still working out for you, Chris. Is that
Yes, it is. Because okay. I've got bags. Hey, Steph, thanks for joining. How about everyone? Let's go around the horn. Everyone introduce themselves. Let's go.
Hello, I am Steph, my nerdy home on YouTube. I can't wait to talk about more white male privilege.
Yo, Derek Anderson, the DA, here to flex my white eccentric privilege. Thank you very much. What's up, yo?
What's going on? Blaine from Criticless.com and from Criticless Cast, and also glad to be back and glad that I am not as confused about my identity as Lanterns is.
Yeah, I used to think that the saying was poor people are crazy and rich people are eccentric, but apparently I qualify as just being a white man. I can be all the eccentric that I want. So let's go.
And I am Alan's white.
Yes, thanks. I just have to say, I enjoy most white content.
All right, before we get to Lanterns, let's talk weekend box office. Alan, what's going on?
Yes, what's going on? I'll tell you what's going on. Here it is. As to what
Spider-Man is number one.
Yeah, for some reason my
and it looks like
so Chrome is not working.
Is it like fourth weekend in a row that it's number one, and it made more money in this weekend than Supergirl did its opening weekend? Is that right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not working.
Okay, for some reason, Chrome is not working for me.
Okay, well, what are the numbers, Alan?
Yeah, for some reason, Chrome is not working for me. So if I could get it to work, I could tell you.
Okay, is there? Okay, all right, Alan.
It was working. It was working right before the show.
This is
and
great.
Now it stopped working.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
But what are the numbers?
Let's go.
Well, if someone else would like to bring it up, that would be awesome.
All right. All I can say is this: Spider-Man Brand New Day was number one. It made more money in its, is it third, fourth weekend? I don't know. But it made more money than Supergirl in this past weekend, and it's been out for like, we're going on this is third weekend, right? Third weekend. There we go. Thank you, Badger. If you could zoom in there so Alan can read it.
That's already at 200 here. Here you go, Alan.
Yeah,
250.
Yes. All right. So Spider-Man at number one comes in with 39 million, followed by Insidious out of the further at 25. And the flop we all know as The Odyssey has dropped 33% down to third place with 19 million. It's stalling out. And then you got the rest. Paw Patrol, the other dinosaur movies out, followed by the other dinosaur movie. And Oak Street, Mutiny, Tony, Fast and Furious, the re-release, and Spa Weekend. And then we got Camp Miasma, a queer slasher film.
There you go. Okay, let's get right to it. And I guess, Badger, that makes me your white at this point. I feel like, because Alan failed in his duty.
I crossed a lot of borders, so
There you go. There you go.
I'm my own that half white, so it's fun.
Let's talk Lanterns here. Episode 2 aired, and I need to go on a rant for a moment because I'm kind of pissed off about this. I posted last night on X. This is the second HBO Max DC series featuring full frontal male nudity in a superhero show. Peacemaker season 2, the opening has some orgy scene with full frontal male. Now, I'm no prude. Okay, whatever. I'm no prude, but I'll tell you, James Gunn's Gods and Monsters, that's the first phase of his DC, should be renamed Dongs of Death, because that's what we're getting, dongs and death of characters. This is infuriating. Then we've got Hal Jordan sneaking dead bodies to prove he's trying to do an investigation. Drags these naked male bodies. You could have done that scene and not had them covered or not shown it. It wasn't necessary at all to the story. And I just wonder what the hell he is doing. We're off the rails here. And not to mention, and we'll get to it, a whole conversation about white male privilege, blah, 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 that sounds so dated. It's out of 2017. What the hell are we even doing with Lanterns? I want to hear your guys' thoughts, but I'm seriously, as someone who knew Gunn back in the day, when he would come to G4 TV, he was a recurring guest. He just gotten this job. He just did the movie Super, which was a really great little indie movie, trauma inspired, not for kids, a superhero movie that starred Ellen Page and Rainn Wilson. Very good film. And he went from that to doing Guardians, and now what the hell is he even doing? As someone who's defended him for a long time, I'm really questioning what is going on, how he allowed this to happen. We'll go in depth, but what do you guys think of Lanterns episode 2? Jump right in.
Well, technically, that was an alien penis we all saw.
Right.
Okay, Alan.
So, temper it down.
Look,
right?
I'm no prude, but did you need it for the story? No. I mean, you can have complex ideas. You can make it adult. Do we need that?
We don't. I was actually shocked when that happened.
Yeah.
I did a watch party on my channel for episode 2, and I was legitimately just, my mouth was just wide open, and I just shouted, "Penis! There's a penis!" I could not believe it. I couldn't believe it. It was it necessary? No. Did it move the plot along? No. The penis was absolutely unnecessary. It was just there for shock value, honestly, and for humiliation. Like, let's just humiliate men. I think that's why they keep showing these flaccid penises. It's to humiliate men. It's a fetish for Hollywood at this point to humiliate men. Because you don't have these strong men. No, it's just a flaccid male penis to show male weakness, pretty much. I was dumbfounded. I was really shocked. So when I was watching it, like, I just immediately when it started, I was like, okay, we've got, like, I don't know, 3-4 fucks within the first minute. All right. And then, we have the flaccid penis. Then we had the conversation about white men. It was really unnecessary. I had no idea what I was watching, honestly. I feel like this could have been a woke show set in the South, and I wouldn't have known the difference, honestly. Like, had they not had, like, the lantern and the ring, and then Hal Jordan, like, flies, I wouldn't have known that this was a lantern show. This show is ridiculous. It really is. It's ridiculous. It's incredibly boring. It is so freaking boring. If I'm not doing the watch parties, I'm honestly, like, not watching this show. If I didn't have to review it, I wouldn't watch this show because it's just so incredibly disappointing. The one good part in this movie was when Hal Jordan's, like, flying through space. That was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Let's talk to members of the panel that have penises. Just please jump in
Allegedly.
if you have one.
Yeah.
Well, before they do, let me say something. I mean, statistically, half of those aliens should have been women. I don't know why they were.
Well, there
men.
there was a
Right.
woman.
but she didn't die. She wasn't
And
naked on.
no,
a
there was a
slab.
woman in the wherever he got in the mortuary or whatever. And she was all covered up.
Of
Yeah.
course.
See, there you go.
Yeah. All right,
Maybe equitable.
guys. I want other members of the
I mean,
panel.
Steph said it all, man. Steph said it all. It's about racial grief, it's about shock value, and it's about mystery box. That's pretty much what Lanterns is. And every episode, they're going to set up some other mystery that they'll probably, I don't know whether they'll resolve it or not, but I mean, this is a dumb show. This is such a low IQ show, and I'm sad that this is a part of Green Lantern. Green Lantern should be cosmic. You know, it should be out there in space. We
Should be big
should be dealing with
potatoes.
aliens. We should be dealing with so much fun and exciting stuff. And we're dealing with some backwater town and, you know, at naked dead aliens. I just don't get it, man. This is trash. There's no other word to describe it. This is just utter garbage, man. It's like, and I'm sad that they're doing this to one of the great heroes of DC. DC deserves better than James Gunn.
Yeah, I was on George's show yesterday, and Paul was talking about the fact that this show probably didn't have a large budget, and so they couldn't go full superhero. But what I watched yesterday was it felt like it was Roger Corman's Fantastic Four, where you didn't have a lot of money to do special effects, so you have to imply special effects or imply superpowers. And I'm watching this thing going, I still want to see Green Lantern do something Green Lantern-y. And we're still not getting it. It's just very cheap effects, and everything that happens is being said off screen.
What do you mean? They showed him flying, where you can obviously tell that he was on a wire because his body was just moving back and forth, and it looks so silly. And he needed to fly in order to find the courthouse or wherever.
Again, that's the extent of what they're putting into this.
Yeah, I feel like because you know everybody knows that they've talked about everything that they pulled inspiration from for this, with as far as you know, True Detective, Yellowstone, all these things. I love that kind of stuff, right? And I like Green Lanterns. I was never a hardcore Green Lanterns guy, but I like it. And but it's one of those things where this show doesn't feel like it gets where it's pulling inspiration from on either side. It doesn't get the Green Lantern shit, and it doesn't get the Yellowstone, True Detective, all of that. It just feels like a cheap copy of both and kind of disrespectful of all of it, of every last bit. Now, with that being said, like, I don't despise this show. It's just like I just don't really I'm uninterested. This is one of those where like I'm somebody who pushes for the weekly model. I like the weekly model release of things, but with this show I'm like, you should have done this binge, because I'm starting to not give a shit from episode 1. Like I needed this all in one go. And so I think it's just kind of it is a disappointment, even if regardless of what camp you fall in as far as interests, and you can just feel the same tropes, all the shit we've been seeing for years. And I mean, this shouldn't be surprising from the dude that put out the Watchmen show, which is like one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. Yep. And so it feels like that. I'm getting vibes of like, I don't know if you guys, I tried to watch Lovecraft Country back when it came out. I'm kind of feeling a little bit of that in there. Like, it's just, I have a lot of problems with this show, just like you guys. Y'all kind of were right on it. And then I'll say, when I saw him flying in space and got him in his costume, and you know he's going to see Sinestro and stuff at the end of season 2, I'm like, this is what the show's supposed to be. Like, this is cool. When you see the Lantern, you're like, oh man, you know, I get to see this cool looking gritty, like the Lantern, and just these aspects of what the actual Green Lantern stuff is, which is barely in here. It gets me excited, and then I remember what show I'm watching, and I'm like, damn it.
Badger, what are your thoughts?
I'm tired of them fucking saying, oh, we pulled from the comics, but then they just pure from whatever obscure little run that lets them do what they want to do. And then they take out all the context of what made it work in the comic. And then people go, well, you know what happened in the comics. Why do this show? Now, the answer to that is clearly this is HBO that wanted it to be True Detective, because we heard even when it was with Greg Berlanti and Mark Guggenheim, they wanted to do Cosmic, and HBO was like, no, more True Detective, which means spend less money. You could have done a question show. You could have done any number of detective show and had this been slow moving, ground and gritty. But it also still baffles me that we've made almost every single mistake that the DCEU made of we'll just have everyone past their prime. I'm just tired of it. I'm so fucking tired of it. And then everyone liked at the end when Sinestro showed up to do his Hannibal Lecter scene. When we could have just had an entire series of Sinestro being the training officer and showing him being resentful of the Green Lanterns and like, oh shit, he's going to go to Yellow Lantern, and Hal being the best of the Lanterns. Instead, we've just gone to the end of that story, and then we just changed the lore however we want. And they'll just defend whatever they want to, the gun fans, just because they don't want to be on the same side as us.
Well, it had a pretty strong debut. Here it is. Lantern premiere pulls in 9.3 million viewers in first 3 days on HBO Max. That's sizable. That's decent. How will that hold by episode 8? And Ira, a prediction. We're not going to find out the fate of Hal until episode 8. They're going to run that mystery into the ground. This entire episode 2 took place in 2016 in the past. No time jumping. It's all set up mystery box. But I think one of the most annoying things about this episode was that speech. Probably going to have to cut this out, and we're going to get hit. But let's watch this speech. You know what I'm talking about. This seems so dated.
It came out of nowhere.
It came out of nowhere.
Yes.
Seems
it really
so,
did come out of nowhere. It's a scene that can be clipped, like just plucked out of this episode, and it wouldn't matter. And it's such a out of nowhere clip.
The worst part is you have two black characters complaining about what I didn't know the woman, the actress who plays the woman, was a brown person. She seemed the way they lit her. She seemed
not
very
all browns
light
are
skin.
equal. She is she does not have the accent, but she is that type of brown.
Yeah,
it's not transferable.
I mean, I figured that out.
I didn't. Right. It was a dark bar. It was a dark.
Oh my God!
Oh, come on!
I'm just saying. Okay, let's watch this scene. Which, if you're seeing this, you're probably not seeing this because it'll be clipped out. But here we go.
White men have the privilege of being eccentric. White men with money, they can do whatever the fuck they want. Play cowboy, build castles.
Do you like that?
Yeah, I like the security. I also like that he could have brought some blonde people from Texas to be his arm candy, but he wanted me.
I'm sure a lot of people want you.
None. That could give me what he has. A lot to deal with, I know, but it's worth it, I think. When I need a break, I just take one.
So you'll put up with some deeply weird white man with a savior complex just to live the life?
No, I'm with my husband because I love him. And I know he loves me. Hey, how's your white man?
Imagine if it was reverse.
Dude,
so he wanted me out the way, so he sent me to fetch his things.
There is a severe lack of racism in America. We really need more.
Let me ask you: is she Indian? Is that what we're?
Yeah, she's Indian.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, she complains about white men and their money. Growing up, the richest people I knew were Indians. I grew up in a very affluent neighborhood in Palos Verdes, and they're Indians, and I worked for a lot of Indians. I don't know where she gets this idea that she can't relate because her
Were they
she's
eccentric?
Yes, they were. Oh my God.
Yeah,
The mansion. So I worked for a computer company. We mentioned this yesterday, but I sold Apple computers. The company was run. The store was run by an Indian family, and filthy rich, and their house was filthy rich as well.
And what preceded this conversation was a conversation that about like Jon Stewart comes up to her and says, "So are you into that? What are you into? Like, is it open marriage?" Like, they got this whole weird conversation about sex fetishes. Put the nudity and put the dong aside for a moment. Put the dong conversation aside on the corpses. You're going to watch this show with your kid. This is the big problem I have with DC. The people running it don't feel any obligation to create real heroes for even look, you know what? So much old superhero content, you could see it. Adults can see it. Kids can see it. But this, no kid, I would not let any kid, my kids, when they were younger, they would not watch this show.
They'd be too bored to watch it anyway.
They'd be bored. But more.
But even if they juiced it up and made the story interesting, it's like, I'm not letting my kid watch this shit.
Exactly.
There's no way in hell I'm letting my kid watch this, man. That's the problem.
Look, I know.
Like, think about this for a minute. Like, the MCU, the way the MCU started out, and that's what I think Warner Brothers wanted when they got James Gunn. They wanted him to create an MCU for them. Okay, so give us the classic characters, give us something that everybody can come to watch. We can crank out a few billion-dollar films, and there we go. That's what James Gunn's assignment was, and then he decided to go full frontal nudity and orgies and all of this stupid shit. All right, fuck in the first episode of Green Lanterns. And it's like, wait a minute. I thought we were supposed to get something that could build up the DC universe. And, people would continue to watch it and follow it and go along with it. This is what James Gunn, in my opinion, is failing at big time. He should be like inviting the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders that never grew up with DC and don't know anything about these characters. He should be inviting them into the universe, into the comic books, and making them become fans of the original works that he didn't create. That's, to me, is the way you do this. Like hearing Damon Lindelof talk about, oh, well, it's not our job to, I forgot what the hell he said. It's like he said something to the effect of, we're not supposed to be like taking it verbatim, or I fucking forgot the words he used, but you should actually be looking at the source material and trying to do the source material justice. That's your job.
He said he doesn't want, nobody wants you to be vigilant.
They're vigilant. That's the word that I was trying to remember.
You don't want to be totally vigilant.
It's like the hell material. We do want you to be vigilant. We want you to stick to the script, because these are characters you didn't create that became popular. You know how many comic book characters exist out there and they never get to this level? Why did Hal Jordan become this popular? Why? Oh, it's because he's this kind of a character. That's what we want to see, the character that became popular, not your bullshit bastardization of it. That's not what we want.
Well, I really think, like, Alan, you're a father. Derek, you're a father. Blaine, you have young kids. Badger, you have action figures. I'm just saying,
I would let them watch.
I'm just saying, if you are, Gunn doesn't have kids, okay? He doesn't have kids. There should be an obligation, like, to you're trying to not only, like you were saying, Derek, like you're going to introduce a new generation to this character and this world, and to have heroes to look up to. I don't even like Jon Stewart. Like, he sleeps with some woman. Okay, he's a vegan. Is there a story behind that? What was going on with his dad? Like with we haven't gotten.
Oh, that wasn't a joke, by the way. That wasn't a vegan joke, by the way, because he told the plant, like, I used to eat meat.
Yeah.
He is a vegan.
That was weird. So now they made him a vegan. What are they turning Jon Stewart into? He's better in the cartoons than this. I'm just, wouldn't you feel George Lucas, when he was writing Star Wars in the 70s, which was a dark era in America, he said to himself, kids today don't have heroes. I'm going to create a modern fairy tale. I'm going to create something that heroes for boys and girls. That's just black and white, good and evil. That's it. You look at the movies that were made surrounding Star Wars, there was some dark things, Taxi Driver, among a lot of other movies we could discuss from that period that were kind of depressing. Star Wars was like against everything else. You would think he'd want that. And now I feel like Hollywood doesn't know how to make heroes.
It feels wildly out of touch.
Yes, yes.
The whole thing feels out of touch. And the thing is, like, with the R-ratedness of this show, and like Chris was saying, it's like none of us are prudes about this stuff, but everything about the rated R-ness of this show feels completely pointless. Like, it feels like a teenager being like, oh, let's see how many times we can say fuck in the next 10 minutes. Like, it's just so stupid. And then it's like, okay, so that's what you want to earn your R rating, and then showing a dick. Like, what are we even doing? Where if you had cut all that stuff out, like, for example, I recently, we were talking about like having young kids and stuff. I recently showed my kids the Ghost Rider film with Nicolas Cage. Now, not to say that that's the best movie ever. It's absolutely got issues, but it was like an edgier Marvel property, right? Like, and my kids knew nothing about Ghost Rider. They watched that and they're like, this character's so cool. And it's not one of these mainline characters, right? But they were able to ride that PG-13 line, and there were people dying, and it was kind of this like edgier tone. And it's like, that's the route that you could have gone with something like this if you wanted to make it a little bit darker, but you didn't have to go whole hog. It just feels unnecessary.
Oh, it
and
went whole
out of
hog.
touch. Yeah, they did go whole hog. Well, half hog. It wasn't, full.
The show is flawed from the beginning because, as they've said, because if you were to ask me, oh, you're doing a Lantern show, what it's about? And it's like, well, I know it seems like Earth is the center of the DC universe, but there's a lot of cosmic stuff. And so this is going to be our view into the cosmic, and that it's a much larger universe that they interact with. No, they say it's about replacement and when is it time to step aside. Like, that is the reason for the show.
Mhm.
So it's not even to introduce the things about lanterns. It's another Halo where you're just using our cool action figures to get people in, and you're doing something completely fucking different that's incongruent with the actual things you're playing with. And all it does is make us upset, and then have them blindly fucking seal. Oh, we saw Sinestro. It's like, yeah. But what's he saying?
It is very true. This is a story about replacement. I mean, they've said that multiple times. This is about ushering in or taking out the old guard and bringing in the new guard. I'm pretty sure those were their exact words when they were at Comic-Con. So yeah, that's what it is. And what's with the flaccid penis? And then you have that woke conversation. Well, it's humiliation. Let's humiliate white people, right? So we show like a white flaccid penis beginning, and then after that we're gonna have that conversation about privileged white men, and then we're gonna at the same time kind of make fun of them and make them seem eccentric and evil because they can get away with it even if they have money. And honestly, like, if they want to push powerful strong black characters, then we have Jon Stewart. He's not a character or a lantern or a superhero that I would want anybody to look up to. He's already feeding into this idea of I'm a black victim in 2 episodes, by the way, not just the last episode, this episode as well. So he's a black victim, and he screws a married woman. And I mean, I bet money that before she dropped him off at his motel, they smashed outside the restaurant that they were at too, because she clearly doesn't have a problem with it. And her talking about how like, oh no, I love my husband. Really? You love your husband? She doesn't give a fuck about her husband because she cheats on her husband all the time. And the only reason she's with him is admittedly for the security. But she's happy that, that her husband chose her, an ugly old bitch with a big ass nose, as opposed to a cute blonde girl from Texas.
By the way, you're right. You're right. The penis should have been erect.
The nose is a construct.
And look, $10. That's the Manhunter. I got $10
Right.
on her.
Oh, that's what I said too. I was like, she's the man.
Any other
No,
writer,
she's
I
the
would have said-
manhunter. It's so obvious.
But that's any other writer, I would have said that that's a red herring, and we're just supposed to think that. But I don't think they have the ability to write any other. So that probably the issue is replacement would have been fine if you were replacing Sinestro, who we already know goes down, and you were showing all his resentment of the Green Lanterns and how the Corps actually shackles him, and then it all leads to him doing the Yellow Lantern thing. But when you take Hal, who's supposed to be like the Green Lantern, and you give him all the worst traits of Sinestro and make it about how it's time to step aside because you don't have it anymore, old man, it's just alienating. And then you don't even get the cosmic on top of it. And every chance they get to show us something, they like in the first episode, if we maybe could have seen Hal save that town from the meteor.
Yes,
in the second
Right.
one, if we could have seen what was clearly supposed to be Atrocitus having his family wiped out instead of
That's
seeing him
what I was
spasm.
so pissed off, man. They're
Yeah.
just sitting there watching. I'm like, yo, show us. I want to see it. Oh,
But
that
yeah,
was
when he was
good.
explaining
Man.
it to him, I was like, okay, that's interesting. All right, show
Yeah.
me, like have a voiceover and show me. And then he's like, let me show you. And I was like, okay, now they're gonna show us. And it was nothing. They didn't show us.
No.
It's
anything.
such a
All you get's a
profound,
bird.
it's a profound lack of imagination on the part of the writers. Because even when you look back at, like, you know, we do Star Wars does come up, right? Okay. But so many scenes in that movie were lines where they talked about amazing things happening they couldn't really show. And sometimes I think today's writers are lazy that unless they're doing it digital, they have to, there are clever ways to do action sequence. The way Richard Donner made the first Superman, it's amazing he pulled that off. It's amazing, that movie, and the music does a lot of heavy lifting, and some of the effects are, you know, looking back, are kind of bad, but it's so effective. It's really Chris Reeves' performance, and you have good actors. I like Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan. I like Aaron Pierre as Jon Stewart. Just really good casting. I despise these writers and what they've done.
They just
that's what I was saying.
embarrassed.
The Roger Corman Fantastic Four showed more.
Yes,
than-
it's
than
the most.
this one.
Looking back, the Corman Fantastic Four that I was on the set on, by the way, and look for me in the Doomed documentary. I was there the whole time. They shot for like 2 weeks. It was really sad, but it's more loyal to the source material than any of the FF movies that came after. But I don't even know if I might just skip and watch episode 8 because I don't care. I'll watch the recap before, because I don't know how much I can suffer. I don't know that I want to talk. Do we want to talk about this every week?
Presumably, it's either
I'm
going to
almost
get
ready to
worse
tap
or
out.
worse.
Yeah, I mean, are we
Right.
going to say the same thing week after week? Is that
It's just a waste. It's an abundance of good lore that they always choose the weirdest, most obscure, and then they mix and match, and they don't match the way they mix and match them.
because they don't think normies can understand the lore,
right?
So they have to
But that
change
goes
it,
back
and
to
then-
my
Well,
point.
they don't
of-
like the lore.
Clearly
think
they
it's
don't
silly.
like
Well,
it.
they
It's
think they
stupid.
don't like.
They
the
took the
lore.
green out of Green Lantern because it's dumb.
Well,
Hal,
yeah.
when he does his power up and he fucking rushes through because he's
Oh my
embarrassed to say the
gosh.
oath, and
Yeah.
begrudgingly putting
Yeah.
on his horrible, ugly costume that he almost didn't wear because, as Kyle Chandler said, they were going to go no super suit whatsoever. At the last minute, decided to do one. And design it feels like I'm in the goddamn early 2000s again, where what you expect, yellow spandex, where they're embarrassed by their properties and they're trying to make it the least like. But meanwhile, that's the whole goddamn allure of it, is the cosmicness of it.
That's what
Right.
it felt. It honestly
Well-
felt like, okay, we have to get through this. Hurry up so we can get to the show that we really want to make. Like we're just throwing in all the Green Lantern lore just because we have to, because it's called Green Lantern. So just say the line. Just say the creed. Oh, okay. Don't say it, brightest night, blah, 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 blah. Like that's how he was saying it. He said it so quick, like he doesn't even care anymore.
But we said Mogo, and she said she's from Gotham.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I understood that
Batman.
reference.
Ooh,
Right.
Gotham.
I know that.
By the way,
Well,
and-
John Stewart's veganism was explained in the first episode. Apparently, his dad shot an apple, and he was appalled by its senseless death.
All right, wait. Okay, we're gonna let the chat decide. Atomic Lori, our producer, if you would put a poll in the chat, should we continue to review Lanterns week to week or just talk about the finale? I know Grace Randolph has seen the first 7 episodes. She hasn't seen the finale. Apparently, she said she liked it. But she's
Well, yeah.
Of course she does.
Yeah,
He's
that's
hit and
Grace
miss.
Randolph.
Yeah.
let's go to comments here and catch up. We'll talk Lantern comments, and then we have more news stories. We're gonna have fun, and I want to get the results of that poll. Everyone vote. Everyone watching now, if you're in your car, pull over. It's this important. Exercise your right to vote.
Yeah, everyone get on that poll.
Andrew
Alan.
Cram, member for 31 months. Thanks for always being honest and entertaining, Chris and Alan.
Oh,
You're
thank you so
welcome.
much. 31 months. That's huge.
And then 10 Film Threat memberships from Andrew. Shout out.
Thanks for being so
Oh, yeah.
giving.
Eric
that.
Stratton, member for 44 months. I gave SC for Blaine in his live super chats for Blaine in his live stream to review North by Northwest. They like it, but settings made both Blaine and his wife very sad.
What?
Regret lost beauty.
Yeah.
What?
Well, it's because of the settings, because of the lost beauty in that movie. As far as all of the architecture and stuff is so pretty. Every house that they go in, there's wood on the walls. It's all gone now, you know?
Yeah.
But it's an excellent film.
Andrew Cram for another 250 joules. Clapping Seal, yes.
Or-
and 10 terrorisms for a gold coin from Andy. Film Threat. 279 away from 160. Yeah, the 200 brave souls
Who's that
right now
one?
that can sub. Dry Mac for 10 joules. Master
you.
Austin gifted a Film Threat membership. Thank you, Austin. Jose Ataco for 199. Saw Wiley versus Acme yesterday, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we're seeing it this week. We'll talk about it on Friday.
I'm getting a screener link. So.
Nice.
Leaf Erickson for 10 joules.
Bling.
One Punch Fan for 3. I don't want to see dongs and bushes, only smoothies and boobs in my super show. Yeah.
I don't know. Are bushes really that abhorrent?
Sing it, Steph. Hashtag save Stargate. Sorry, you gotta pay more.
Steph,
Sing
or
it.
no?
Steph's
Oh.
not singing that.
Sing it, Steph. Is there a tune? Save
Stargate. Yeah.
That was great.
I blame
Don't
Badger for all of this. I get these on mine
Sorry.
too, man. It's Badger making us
Sorry,
sing
guys.
hashtags.
Jeff Maddox for 2. James Gunn spits on hot dogs before he eats them. Yeah. The long way. One Punch Fan for 3. Steph, don't save Mouth Wide Open and don't say Mouth Wide Open and Penis together. Pause. Laugh out loud.
My bad.
Be
Baraka
respectful,
wins.
folks. Be respectful.
Baraka wins for $4.99. Let's be honest. If Lindelof hadn't said True Detective, you wouldn't be thinking it. You'd be thinking Men in Black, but not funny and 10 hours long.
Or at least
Yeah.
X-Files, you know.
Right.
Or X-Files, yeah.
Albert Not a Retro for 10. Just going to say Chris sounds similar to when feminists complain about female nudity, not trying to defend humiliating males. If it serves the bigger story and justice is served, then I'm okay with it.
I'm saying it's unnecessary. I'm also, again, not a prude. We review a lot of indie movies that have nudity, generally part of the story. I think Obsession had some nudity. I felt it served the story, and I don't care, male nudity. I mean,
It
Bad
served no
Lieutenant?
point.
Look,
in the
if you
story.
go back to Friday's show, Chris actually, quote unquote, said unnecessary boobs.
Yeah, that happens
Whoa.
sometimes.
Yeah. So he's being consistent.
Dry Mac for another 5 joules.
Treat.
Marcellus for 10. To any newbies who want a proper Green Lantern adaptation, watch the CG animated series and the 2 animated movies, First Flight and Emerald Knights. Also watch Justice League and Unlimited. Yeah, if they had adapted First Flight, it would be everything we wanted.
Super Friends is how I got to know Green Lantern.
Infinity Media Productions for 2. Thanks, Chris, for the like on your Green Lantern nudity post on X.
My whole thing with this, you don't need it. We've been making superhero movies for years. There's certain genres. It can be edgy. It can be dark. It could be, I think the Dark Knight is one of the best superhero movies ever made. It's in the top 10, if not top 5. But was there nudity? Was there romance? Yes. Was there, you don't need it. And even they've had plenty of studies out there. Gen Z doesn't want that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying it's a way to justify it. I'm saying it's unnecessary. Game of Thrones, it makes sense. That show is edgy. It makes sense. Its characters are deviant. It's a dark world that's different. I expect boobs and penises, flaccid or otherwise, in Game of Thrones. Not in my GL series. So
it doesn't serve the story, because you can have, if you want him to be going to the morgue and getting the bodies, you can do that without showing a penis.
Correct.
It was there for shock value only. It was unnecessary.
One Punch Fan for 3. Speaking for myself, Oriental are really colorist to other Asian.
Yes, they
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, that's true. Alan can speak to that.
I can speak to that. Yes.
Albert, not a retro for 10. I'm glad there's no racism in Canada, and it's good to see Verbal Riot is on the show today. That's horrible. Get your token minorities on the show. Just kidding. I know it really, really young Ripa. Oh man, that's even worse. Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle for $9.99. DC needed to do all ages movies and shows to bring in a young audience and keep it over time to consistently make money. Gunn has apparently delivered a masterclass on how not to do it.
Like I said, The Dark Knight is like, it's not for kids, but kids can see that. And I saw movies when I was a kid that weren't, there wasn't nudity necessarily, but they were more adult in nature. And that was perfectly fine. I just don't get the need to do this. And that Peacemaker season 2 and this show did it. It's like, and now we're back to like that whole conversation with Jon Stewart in the restaurant with the G-MILF. Is it GILF or G-MILF?
GILF. It's GILF.
Yeah, she's a GILF.
G-MILF.
I mean,
What is?
She is a grandma. I don't know.
I've heard both
What
terms.
does
I'm not
even mean?
I'm not up on the lingo, obviously, but it just seems like, do you really need this? The show is good with
He had
show's not
sex in the
good,
bathroom in Creature Commandos. There was a scene in the Creature Commandos room smashing in the bathroom. These guys are weirdos, man.
Yeah.
Neil the 10th for 2. I'm flaccid with rage.
Funny.
10th for another 5 at Chris. Writers, please, sir. This isn't so much writing as it is making a big mess with a pen.
That's true.
But watching the show, it makes me realize I could write television.
Yes. Yeah.
Mike Hill for 5. Nicholas has left Harry Potter. Now Lockhart will be played by Jon Snow himself, Kit Harington. Oh, that's a horrible switch. Justin for 10 joules. Shout out. BMC CB for 20. Every week. Suffer, Chris. Yeah, I want you to suffer.
Thank you. Thank you for a very generous super chat.
Gordon for 1,000 joules. Go trophy. Yes. Now, know the name for 5. Please don't waste our time talking about lanterns every episode. Yeah, talking about every lantern.
Well,
episode.
we are democratic here. We're gonna let the chat decide. Do we go over every episode, or just at the end we'll do a series finale?
Brian Smith for 10. No interest in this series or even talking about how bad it is.
Yeah.
Andrew Cram for another 550 joules. Stay hydrated.
We will.
What kind of emoji is that?
Greg, 200 joules. Sunshine. Yes, it's hot.
Okay. Thank you.
Robert James Films for 2. Kyle Chandler said his family loved the scripts. Sus.
That's weird.
Your Barmy for 5. Chris only likes the original MILFs. Very picky.
There you go.
Hembry Jeremiah for 5. Don't forget the original Green Lantern was not from Ola and did not, I think he means Oa, and did not have his own costume, and he had to make his own. Right. Mega YouTube for $1.99. Alan, you should name your new grandson Eric Weber.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll put that in the mix.
Okay.
I should call him Shill.
Thank you, Aaron.
Shill-ing.
Shill-ing.
Shill-ing. There you go. Okay. I don't know what the results of the poll are, but we will get that soon. Let's go to more topics today. Mark Ruffalo hulks out on Paramount. Mark has been very outspoken when it comes to Israel, Palestine. I gotta say, as someone who's lived on a long enough timeline, a lot of things happen in the Middle East, and you reach a point where you say they're always gonna fight, and maybe it's not my battle. So I kind of stay out of it. But he has been very outspoken about the Paramount WB merger, and he's been accused by Paramount of anti-Semitism. We have notes for this story. Let's get to it.
Mark Ruffalo faces anti-Semitism accusations over Paramount Warner merger criticism. Ruffalo argued that he opposes Paramount's proposed acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery because he believes the deal could concentrate too much media power and wealth in the hands of the Ellison family. He connected the merger to the Ellisons' ties to Oracle, Larry Ellison's technology company, and Oracle's work with Israel's government and military. Ruffalo questioned what those connections could mean for media independence, corporate power, and the concentration of influence over major entertainment properties. The Anti-Defamation League, Simon Wiesenthal Center, Creative Community for Peace, and Los Angeles Jewish Federation all condemned Ruffalo's remarks. The group specifically objected to Ruffalo bringing Israel into his criticism of the Paramount merger, highlighting Oracle's technology contracts with Israel, calling Larry Ellison a classic oligarch, warning about wealthy people consolidating global power and media control, connecting the Ellisons' wealth and business interests with Israel's war in Gaza. Creative Community for Peace went the furthest, calling for an industry boycott of Ruffalo until he retracts his comments and apologizes. The organization also pointed to Ruffalo's previous criticism of Israel, including his 2021 statement accusing Israel of genocide, which he later apologized for and acknowledged was inflammatory and incorrect.
Well, let's just say, first of all, the actors are probably the last people I want to go to regarding opinions about politics. He will never work with Paramount and WB.
Mark looks like an aging lesbian right there.
Well, everyone that's like this eventually melds into Rachel Maddow, it seems, oddly. But he was excluded from the press tour for Spider-Man Brand New Day, and they did so much press, and it was fun. It was refreshing. Zendaya and the main three in the cast, along with like
Tom Holland.
They were so fun together. They played trivia games. They did Hot Ones. John Bernthal and Tom Holland did Hot Ones. It was great. And Ruffalo was not part of the tour. Not only that, he was not at the premiere. I feel like the studios have finally awakened that this hurts movies. Now, Mark Ruffalo did release a statement. It's a little lengthy here. I can zoom in on this if you want to read it, Badger.
The accusation that I am anti-Semitic is appalling and fundamentally dishonest. Criticizing the action of the Israeli prime minister, a military technology contract, or the executives who supply it is not the same as criticizing the Jewish people. His critical and necessary dialogue is then dishonestly framed as being anti-Israel. To be clear, my views come from my own political convictions and should never be interpreted as hostility towards Jewish people, for whom I have deep love and respect. Everything I know about acting, activism, and humanism has been profoundly shaped by the Jewish friends, colleagues, and loved ones who have been integral and family throughout every point in my life.
So, pause for a second. The people that drive this are driving a connection between actual Jewish people and what Israel does. And what it does is it gives permission for crazy people to attack Jews. Robert Meyer Burnett, not on the show today, happens to be Jewish. I've grown up, had Jewish friends my whole life, and I have never seen more anti-Semitism than now with all this BS. It's sickening to my core. And that Ruffalo would engage in this is disgusting. Why he's not being called out it's weird. There's so many prominent people in Hollywood. And have you seen the videos of Jerry Seinfeld being hounded on the street? Being like forced, you got to say, free Palestine. And he usually is very clever about it. It even has happened at his shows. This is giving permission for people to be cruel to Jews. It's disgusting. If you could finish his statement,
Yeah.
and let's
This-
we'll go from there.
This merger has real consequences for real people and for the entire country. Scrutinizing the Ellisons, including Oracle's business built on data, surveillance technology, and government contracts, and the serious threat to editorial freedom and the loss of a livelihood for thousands of families is fair and necessary. The $111 billion deal would hand one family control over CNN, HBO, and Warner Brothers, backed in part by foreign money whose influence on editorial decisions has never been fully explained to the public. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have called for serious national security review, and regulators still haven't given the public a real answer. Until they do, the merger shouldn't move forward. Now is the time to dive boldly into all these issues, not step back or concede. Now, notice he had no problem with his political side owning all of the fucking stations and studios. And now that there's someone on the other side that might own it and has already sworn to continue doing theatrical releases, blah, 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 blah. Now, all of a sudden, he has a problem with it.
I want to do a lot of theatrical releases.
Yeah, I want to hear your thoughts also, panel.
I've honestly never really liked Mark Ruffalo, and I think that he's incredibly outspoken and really dumb. It doesn't matter what red carpet he's out at, he will be saying something about something. He'll be supporting something. He'll be advocating for something. He'll be wearing something on his lapel. And honestly, that could be why he wasn't at the Spider-Man premiere or in any of their interviews or anything like that. Now, people were saying that he was filming at the time, so that could have been it. And he put out an Instagram story that was congratulating the Spider-Man cast on the success of Spider-Man. But in reality, he has put a lot of his foot in his mouth at a lot of red carpets, and he has caused a lot of controversy surrounding his appearances on said red carpets. And it's really irritating. There's not a lot of people that really like Mark Ruffalo. There's not a lot of people that like to be preached at by multimillionaires in general, and especially celebrities. I think that as much as we don't like to talk about it, but lockdowns really opened a lot of people's eyes as to, the real lives of celebrities and, how they live such cushy lives. And social media has also opened a lot of people's eyes on, how completely and utterly out of touch celebrities are. And Mark Ruffalo, as much as he wants to say, like, we have to go after billionaires because he's a millionaire, and he wants to make billionaires seem incredibly evil, he's still in the elitist class. Whether he likes it or not, he's in the elitist class, and he focuses on billionaires because he's a millionaire, and he doesn't want to make people think that he's evil. He's on the right side of history, but he is a multimillionaire preaching at a lot of people, and we just don't like it. We don't like to be preached at.
Imagine all the celebrities shutting the fuck up.
Ironically,
For real.
he wouldn't like Gal Gadot because she's Israeli.
Exactly. That's what this bleeds into. I've seen people attack Rob Burnett online for being Jewish. I've seen it happen to him on his live streams. I've seen videos of have you seen college students who happen to be Jewish being attacked at college campuses? This is bleeding into a real world here, this battle overseas. And he can have all the opinions he wants, but this is not helpful. And I think some people in the community need to speak out on this. Any other thoughts? I have a related.
Well, I mean, the problem is you're taking a merger, which is a business deal, and you're conflating it to real world problems. And like, it's completely unnecessary. But this is what a lot of these guys choose to do. They just want to like try to marry all of these other issues in with something as simple as a business deal and saying, well, Larry Ellison is complicit in all of these things going on over in Europe, or not in Europe, in Palestine and Gaza and Israel. And it's like, well, whether he is or isn't, what does that have to do with this business deal? And why are you trying to link the two of them together? And then you're trying to basically pour like a lot of negativity at the deal instead of just dealing with it on its merits. You're basing it on the problems that's going on in Israel. And like, okay, that's disingenuous. Let's just talk about the deal. And is this deal good for Hollywood or not? That's the only thing he needed to do. but he can't do that. He has to try to pull from all of these other areas to, you know, and they keep saying that this isn't about politics. It's 100% about politics. All right. This is all about, hey, we don't want Larry Ellison owning CNN. He says that all the time. Oh, he's going to own CNN. Oh, he's going to own HBO. I don't want him to own that. That's basically what this is all about. And, you know, I wish people would just be honest about that, because a lot of folks aren't honest about what this really is about. You know, that's the main issue to me, you know, and then Mark Ruffalo just throwing his mouth in. This is why nobody likes this guy on the red carpet, you know, and that's the reason why he probably wasn't allowed to be there for Spider-Man.
Yeah, just because I see the chat real quick. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
Warner Brothers was losing money before Paramount even said anything. All of their cable channels were losing them money, and everything they were making on the movie side, they were losing on the Discovery with CNN. And CNN did that to themselves, lying their ass off for years through COVID, which Mark had no problem with CNN at the time. And now all of a sudden that you might get something that's even if because that's the other thing, even if it's 100% that the Ellisons just have to return to like factual news-based things with CNN and CBS, that's still two alternate viewpoints for them. And so it scares them. And so they might say it's about competition and theaters, but it's not. It's just fucking CNN and the news outlets that they know will start threatening their horrible lies that they propagate all the time.
Yeah, it makes you miss Rachel Zegler, huh?
Life is simple.
Alan.
Yeah, it's the constant insistence to just make everything political too. And I mean, we know it. There are several of these people in Hollywood that they all do it, and any opportunity they get. And for me, it's just like, just read the room. Like, can you not tell that this is hurting your career? Like, just stop saying shit. Just shut up. Most of these people, they'd be a lot better off if they just got off social media and answered very few questions.
Speaking well, lanterns. Should we continue with lanterns week to week? Our poll. Yes, 52%. No, 48%. Poll complete. 543 votes. Well, you know, it's your right to vote. That is a majority. We will continue week to week, but we'll also do the poll again next week. See if the results change.
By the way, I was told that there was 100 yes votes that came in the last minute.
Yeah. Okay. In a related story, Rob Bonta pulls out. That's right. You know, again, continuing about the merger, Rob Bonta is pulling out of California AG. Rob Bonta has canceled settlement talks with Paramount over its proposed WB Discovery merger. Bonta accused Paramount of leaking and misrepresenting the details of the discussions, calling the move a sign of a lack of good faith as the state's antitrust case against the deal continues. I don't know if we have notes from a story in
I think it's just this
in the wrap. Is that it? Is that
that's a thrust of it.
But Alan, you had thoughts on this.
Yeah, poor baby. You know, this is clearly Rob Bonta's ego being attacked, and he will not back down, no matter how many of his friends, how many of fellow Democrats tell him to settle. He is digging in, and I'm personally at the point of Paramount, just move. Just, you know, do yourself a favor and get out of California.
Well, they're looking at a huge facility in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking at Nashville, of all places, and they're looking at Atlanta, which already was a hub, at least for Marvel. So they have facilities, they have people local that are hireable for film. They really have like people. I don't know. This is, I just think this is, I mean, anything with big business, a lot of it is a dick measuring contest, frankly. So,
well, I mean, that statement screams of, you know, how dare you challenge my authority? You know, he's just coming at it from a position of power that he believes he has. And
it feels like he's working for somebody, man.
Yeah.
It feels like he's answering to a higher power. It's like somebody else is pulling the strings behind the scenes, and it's I have a feeling it's somebody over
Yeah.
with Netflix, but that's just my conspiracy theory. I have no real hard evidence on that, but I just think like everybody wants this to go through. Cinema United is now saying, let it happen. All right. And the 4 major theatrical chains, they've all said, let it happen. All right. Karen Bass, I was shocked at that one. Karen Bass said, let it go and make it happen. All right. You got 66 or 68 countries. You know, you have the US DOJ. Like everybody is saying, make it happen. Let's get it settled so that we can move forward, because this is going to slow down both studios. Paramount and Warner Brothers are now in freeze, in a hold, because they can't move forward until this thing is done.
Well, the article says that he canceled the meeting because Paramount leaked their conversations to everybody, which says ego bruise there. The other thing about Rob Bonta is he was the one who stopped the merger between JetBlue and Spirit Air. How did that turn out? How many more jobs were made by keeping those two companies apart?
And
that's why I say
Spirit Airlines, that really hurt the airline industry, because that was a cheap option for people. I've flown on Spirit. It's not great, but in a pinch, it was a good airline. And now all those people out of work.
All those flights
but who wins in that? You know, all the other airlines.
Rob Bonta wins. That's the point.
Well, but the other airlines win too, because now those customers are now going to Frontier. Or they're going to some other cheap, low cost. So Frontier is the winner when Spirit goes out of business. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, it feels like who stands to win the most when this merger, if this merger doesn't go through, who stands to win? That's where I'm starting to look at it, because this is getting ridiculous. That nobody wants to get this thing settled, or Rob Bonta doesn't want to get this thing settled. We know that Hollywood's not going to win. Okay, they're going to lose in this. So who wins? I think it's somebody in big tech. I think it's either Netflix or it's, Amazon. Somebody in that realm is going to benefit off of this merger collapsing and Warner Brothers getting sold off for parts.
Which is the irony, since they're the ones saying that, no, if you do this, it'll ruin competition. It's like, well, no, what will ruin competition is we lose 2 fucking studios, and then all the IP is piecemealed out to everyone else. And there's just that much fewer people with that much more pieces of the pie.
If you were willfully trying to destroy Hollywood and business in California, you would do this.
Yeah.
It's it's going to affect not just people who work in that industry. It's going to affect restaurant workers and dry cleaners and name a support kind of other industry in Hollywood. Already, so many restaurants, just amazing restaurants and iconic places in LA have closed. It's becoming a ghost town. I posted about a video where someone did a bike tour up Sunset Boulevard, just going through every closed business. Sunset Boulevard on a Friday, Saturday night. You could drive down. It was, Derek, I see your smile and you remember it was wild.
Man.
It was wild. It was fun. It was right out of that show Entourage. That doesn't exist. It is dead. And it's frightening to see.
Sad, man.
Yeah, and they have a good example, because this is what's happened in Atlanta when Disney and everybody was filming in Atlanta and they pulled everything out, and everything is dying in Atlanta too, and tons of people are out of work. And so it's like, you can see it there. There's a perfect example. You're going to do the same shit. And like you said, it's already even happening. So it's just, once again, just feels super tone deaf.
Well, I guess the lesson is don't pull out.
Never.
Means
Never
stay
pull
in.
out. Yeah.
All right. Hey, let's pivot. More topics here. Jimmy Olsen and Gorilla Grodd in a Superman spinoff series. This is a real thing, folks. This is from James Gunn's. This is a post that James Gunn put up on X. Can you read that for me, Badger?
Yeah. The People vs. Gorilla Grodd, the new show from DC Studios, is coming to HBO Max. Our first foray into the true crime genre. Isn't that what True Detective Lanterns is? From the creators of American Vandal, starring Skylar Jacindo as Jimmy Olsen, Jimmy Tataro as Gorilla Grodd, and Beck Bennett as Steve Lombard. Okay, he's just announcing the cast. Additional cast, yeah, so it's just his Daily Planet staff. Along with Lanterns, this was one of the shows Peter and I pitched to WBD before we came on board. With Tony and Dan at the helm, it's truly special, something truly special.
So this is like it's like a true crime series, kind of like something you'd see on Netflix.
It's supposed to be a true crime comedy.
Right. And and so can something just be original? Can it like Lanterns? It's True Detective, and this it's true crime. Can't you just do a show, a normal show?
The issue is Gorilla Grodd is a Flash villain primarily, and we haven't even introduced the Flash. And instead of setting this in Central City and like introducing either Wally West or Barry Allen, I would take Jay Garrick at this point. Now, for some reason, it's in Metropolis. People got very upset when I was like, why the fuck would Metropolis and the Metropolis District Attorney be prosecuting Gorilla Grodd for killing his father in Gorilla City, in another fucking country, continent, city-state of Gorilla City in Africa? Why would they be doing that? And like, I guess maybe the only answer is Gorilla Grodd killed his dad in Metropolis. But why are we doing this instead of, why isn't this Metallo or any number of Superman villains that you could have, it just makes no sense.
Right. Which, and I'll say, have any of you guys seen American Vandal? Did y'all watch it?
I haven't.
No.
It is one of the best comedy shows I've ever seen. It's hilarious. The whole show is about someone drawing dicks everywhere and trying to find out who the dick drawer was. It is actually very good. I'll say you should, the first season at least. You should watch the first season. I will say that.
Flaccid, or what are we talking about here?
Well,
no, fully erect.
See, that's a lot of the debate, right? Because there were different dicks, and some had hair, some did not. So there were multiple people involved. So there's a lot going on there.
Oh, there was diversity in those dicks.
Right. There's
suddenly this all makes sense now. Why are we getting the show with James?
Yes,
Gunn,
exactly. Right. But like, so and the thing is like that guy that they've cast as well was involved with that show, and he's very funny, does a really good job. So there's this weird part of me that's like, this could be cool, but also why Grodd, like you guys were saying, it just doesn't really make sense. And then also this feels like another thing of, it's like with us getting Clayface before we get Batman, we're getting Grodd before we get Flash. It's just this, it's just like, just shit thrown at a wall to see what sticks. And it seems like nothing's sticking, but the core idea here and like the people involved could be cool, but it just feels too soon for this. You haven't built out everything else to make this make sense.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody would want to watch this show. I don't know what the attraction is other than it's in the universe that Superman movie was in. But why would I be interested in a Gorilla Grodd Jimmy Olsen show? I've seen nothing of these characters at all other than Jimmy Olsen as a bit part in Superman. Outside of that, why do I care? Why would anybody care? Now, maybe it comes out and it's a banger and the trailer is amazing and it's a great show. But I mean, initially, I just like, this is dumb.
Because it's not made for you. Obviously, James Gunn is trying to get the true crime wine moms to watch a DC show. Like that's what this is for. That's why it has Jimmy Olsen, the guy that's, lusted after by every girl in the Superman movie. We don't know why. That, like, there's no reason. Everybody just automatically just wants Jimmy Olsen for some strange reason. The girlies can't stop staring at him. So you know what? Let's give him his own show after we've told the girlies that he is someone to be lusted after, and we're going to make it true crime. This is obviously for the true crime girlies.
Here's my piece of advice for DC Studios. Learn how to tell a story the normal way. And then venture out into these new avant-garde ways of
I now fully believe the theory that this was never supposed to be a profitable universe that was going to go on. This was Zaslav came in, wanted to make as much money as he could, and he just wanted the appearance of a plan. So he let Gunn, who at the time still had all his previous stuff and Guardians, and people still saying, well, I trust in Gunn, to give his announcements. And then it's just been crap after crap after crap. And here we are at the truth now is the actual merger, that they can't do anything right now until that merger is resolved. This is all holdover shit.
Well, this is the thing is James Gunn and a lot of these other executives, they're paid a lot of money, a ton load of money to lead these things, then given a massive budget, and then they fail and can't do anything with it, and there's no accountability after that. And so rather than blaming them as making bad decisions, they'll blame us for not liking it. We're the problem. We've been the problem all along.
Toxic fans.
But again, a lot of this stuff like the deconstructing Hal, right, which effectively is Lanterns, or this series would be great in 10 years when you've had a Justice League movie, when you've had Darkseid as a villain, when you've exhausted some of the big ideas, some fun spin-offs of minor characters, or deconstructing Hal in season 5 or 6 of a Lantern show would be great. They've jumped to the end and they've killed heroes and they can't come up with something just original and basic. I think the idea of doing a Daily Planet show is not a bad idea. Making it a true crime show with Gorilla Grodd, that's something that Gunn pitched the show before he had the job. He's clearly interested in these side characters, not in Superman, which he had to rack his brain to come up with a story for. So I just, unfortunately, this just further erodes my confidence in what he's doing. So
yeah, I don't know how anybody could have confidence at this point. The universe hasn't worked. All right. All the projects that have come out so far, the best one, I guess you could say, you know, in terms of support and, you know, audience is Superman. Everything else has been pretty much a disaster. I don't know how Lanterns is going to finish up. I feel like people are going to start checking out because this story is going nowhere. It's mystery box nonsense. It doesn't feel like it's got a cohesive through line other than we're just going to introduce a lot of crap and that's it, you know, and then we're going to have shocking scenes. We're going to talk about race. It doesn't feel like James Gunn has a firm concept of what he's going to do. How's he going to bring in Batman? How's he going to bring in Wonder Woman? Is he going to get to a Justice League ever eventually? It doesn't feel like it. It just feels like we're just going to be spinning our wheels in this corner of DC until James Gunn gets fired or he leaves on his own or whatever the case may be. So I think this is a waste of time.
Yeah.
The showrunners for Lanterns said that they had no endpoint that they had to get to. And then it was their choice when thinking about replacement that like, well, what if we kill one of them? And then they said that like, we were never going to kill Jon Stewart. It's like, yeah, of course you were. Where this is all going to end up at the end of the day, even if that shapeshifter turns out to be not Hal Jordan is, Hal still won't be a fucking Green Lantern. And we're going to have a Jon Stewart show up in Man of Tomorrow that probably is going to be able to do Lantern shit without his ring. Like he'll just his own power, and and that'll be the only thing that took away from it. 8 episodes to get to why Jon Stewart shows up and helps them fight Brainiac. That's really what happens.
Is that canon? That
yes, there's times where Jon can do this, but it was after power-ups. It was after he absorbed this cosmic force or that. Hal Jordan at one point makes a fucking power ring just from his own will and like some Manhunter technology. So that's all in there. But it seems like you're going to skip all of the extra context of that just to have him. Oh, he's the best ever.
He's just going to be the best at it. Yeah.
That's so cheap. It's like wishing for more wishes. You know what I mean? Like
John's
I'm gonna make a power ring out of my power ring.
John's already great. You don't need to add all this extra shit.
If he could do that, he would have done it already. He didn't even need to put on the ring.
What they showed it, he's able to make a construct and then hold that construct without the ring, and the ring runs. That's not how any of that shit works, by the way. Even if I believed that he could maintain his willpower connection away, the ring ran out of power. There's no reason that construct should have been flying around. Yeah. But then they'll say that, well, John is the power battery.
Yeah.
Black man magic. That's what
Black man magic.
That's it.
We got there. Hey, guys, Star Trek's anniversary is coming up on September 8th. September 8th, 1966, actually, was the date that the first episode of Star Trek, the original series, aired. And they're doing special screenings in theaters. Have you seen this? Special screenings of Star Trek episodes and movies are coming to theaters in early September. Check out, AMC, Regal, whatever. I'm excited. But did you see that new episode of Strange New Worlds?
No.
Anyone see it?
Show.
It was the puppet episode.
Nope.
I I have not seen it, so I'm like you, but I've seen some videos. This may get muted, cut out, who knows. Let's take a look at where Star Trek is now.
Apparently, the puppet matter from Little Ricky got cross-wired.
As well as something about the puppet's quantum particulates caused the energy in the transporter to expand outward across the ship.
The entire ship. So basically, now we're all puppets except for Spock.
Yes.
Look on the bright side, Lieutenant Ortegas. And what would that be? Oh, I didn't have one. I thought you might do. Scotty really screwed the pooch on this one.
Hey!
Okay, Scotty, I want you immediately working on a solution.
Yeah, I'm on it, Captain, of course. It's just a slightly more complicated problem than I hoped.
Captain, we figured it out.
It's not just an engineering problem. It's also a medical problem.
As in, what the hell did we just turn into?
And what parts of our genome work, or don't work. We're on it, Captain.
The bigger problem is, now that we're puppets...
How this goes on for an hour?
Oh my God.
I could barely handle a minute.
Ugh.
Oh my God. Gary from Nerdrotic says, one of the many failures of Kurtzman Trek is it's always trying to be something other than Star Trek. Alex Kurtzman is the very definition of a grifter and succeeded with the biggest con in entertainment history. R.I.P. Star Trek. Here's a little bit more.
Just on a slightly higher scale.
A significantly higher scale. A level 5.
I was just saying, that's all. It wasn't a level 6.
So, somehow trying to expand the long-range transporter turned the ship into a giant...
Scotty screw up. Hey, not fair.
One thing's for certain. Declan wouldn't just...
Why?
Well, because they're saying something about humanity. There's a point there. There's got to be a point there. Someone find the point.
Well, here's an article from Variety. How Star Trek Strange New Worlds pulled off that Madcap puppet episode. Did anything look madcap to you? Was it funny? Look, by the way, I'm no prude when it comes to puppets. I like puppets. I like the Muppets. I enjoy some puppet content where I find it. This is Star Trek, and this is an embarrassment. Badger, I believe you have the story here.
Yeah. The latest Strange New Worlds episode delivers one of the show's wildest ideas yet. The entire Enterprise crew is transformed into puppets after a transporter experiment goes spectacularly wrong. The episode brought in Jim Henson's Creature Shop, thanks to director Jordan Canning's previous work on Fraggle Rock. The puppets were designed to exaggerate recognizable traits of the actors.
Oh my God.
Pike's puppet, for example, emphasizes his hair and broad shoulders, while Commander Pelia's puppet features an elaborate curly hairstyle created using a specialized synthetic hair technique. After all the puppet chaos, the episode reveals that the entire adventure was actually a dream Spock had.
Is that real? So it was just a dream, the whole thing. So it ended on the most lazy, which, thank you. You didn't need to spoiler warn because nobody cares. It ended that it was all a dream. That is the laziest trope in movies and where it almost never gets used. What are we even doing here, folks?
The bigger issue to me is what happened to Variety? Why is this a story in Variety? Why does Variety have to explain how puppets and caricatures are done?
That's what I was just about to say.
Is this company failing? Is it a slow news day or something? I mean, to explain
they're trying to prop up the
work.
puppet industry. You know,
I guess
the struggling
so.
puppet industry.
Yeah, Big Puppet was behind
that's
it.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, I like how the title is like how they were able to pull it off, as if this is the first time anyone has ever done puppets in a show ever. Like they made it seem like it was a huge deal. Oh my gosh, look, they made puppets of the actors, and ooh, they had to make the hair and the shoulders look like the actor. It's like,
Yeah.
what?
In all honesty, one of my favorite stories from 60 Minutes was when they went to the Muppet Show and they showed us how they did the Muppet Show and how Jim Henson put it all together. That was incredibly fascinating. And this is where we come to in 2026.
This is just so disheartening. Not only it's offensive to fans of anything puppet related. It's big felt conspiracies. Thanks, Tay. But all this, it's just they clearly don't care about Star Trek or telling good stories, good Star Trek stories. And isn't Captain Pike supposed to be replaced by Kirk? Why don't you tell that story? What happened to Pike? He's been captain way too long. Get Kirk in that captain chair, and he should be out there.
Didn't they
He should
isn't
be
this like
crushing
alternate reality
pussy across
stuff?
the galaxy, like Captain Kirk does. Green women or whatever it is, let's get to real Trek.
Well, yeah,
Sorry,
I think isn't the whole point of this that they like made it to where he didn't die, Pike didn't die, and it's like an alternate reality thing or something, and changed the past of what was supposed to actually happen to Pike. If I'm not mistaken, it was all like Discovery stuff that all of that was in though.
It was an alien STD. That's what happened to him.
Yeah.
I just, you know, I can't believe that. Like, is there any franchise safe at this point? I mean, saying Star Trek is dead. I mean, we've said it long ago, and now it's just apathy. So we'll get to your comments. We have a few more news stories to get to. Something.
By the way,
what's that?
No, nothing. I was gonna say that the Dukes of Hazzard is safe.
Yeah.
Yes, that's safe so far. Daisy Duke.
Yeah, don't say it too soon.
Something that is kind of a shocker, this story. Not sure you guys heard. Wait, that's not it. This is the shocker story. I mean, Shaquille O'Neal, Marvel turned me down for Avengers. This is real, folks, because it's in Variety. This is unbelievable. Let's get
slow news day.
Again, what has happened to Variety?
I like Shaquille O'Neal. Okay, he's got a Superman tattoo. Always like Shaq. You know him and
played
Kobe.
Steel.
Yes, Steel. But look at this. Shaquille O'Neal, Marvel turned me down for the Avengers. The NBA legend desperately wanted to join the MCU, but the powers that be were not enthused by the idea. He also really wants to fight The Rock.
I want to be Iron Man.
What?
Shaquille O'Neal will not appear in Avengers Doomsday or any future Avengers movie. The NBA legend revealed that he has spent years trying to land a role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but the studio ultimately turned him down. Shaq said Marvel executives told him they loved him, but believed he was too big to play a fictional character. The concern was that audiences would immediately recognize him as Shaq, making it difficult to convince viewers he was a doctor, superhero, or another character. Shaq first publicly expressed his desire to join the Avengers in 2018, despite his previous experience playing the DC superhero Steel in 1997. Marvel never gave him the opportunity. O'Neal says he has struggled to get serious action roles where he isn't playing himself because of his enormous fame and physical presence. Hollywood executives have apparently worried that his celebrity would overpower whatever character he was portraying.
By the way, can someone get Shaq James Gunn's contact information?
Yeah.
Yes, he could be in the DCU.
Yeah. So everybody's wanting to see his dong, you know? That's what it's really about.
Well, I
A
like
fully erect
Shaq.
one. Yeah.
I watch his sports commentary. I think he's funny. I think he gives no fucks. He doesn't care. He says it like it is and just doesn't. He doesn't care. But him in the MCU, they made a good choice. I'm sorry. I think they made a good choice. As much as I love the person Shaq, I don't think there's a place for him in the MCU. But the timing of this, wouldn't we have heard about this like years ago? Why now would this come out?
I think someone just interviewed him recently, and that.
Yeah.
By the way, can he team up with Charles Barkley and become Batman and Robin?
I mean, he might have been a better Wonder Man or something. I mean, he really has the height. That's for sure.
I mean, if he was a better actor, I would have said he could have played the Goliath role instead of Lawrence Fishburne in the Ant-Man movie that no one fucking watched. But yeah, Shaq is just not the best, unfortunately. No offense, Shaq.
Yeah, you could play him. You could put him in something like a giant, that's standing behind the villain, something, like a role like that. In he doesn't have, maybe he has a line or two, but I don't think he would be a main star, like a main hero or main villain.
You say he could have been in the Odyssey.
And this is one of those things, like studio executives do meetings all the time. And Shaq wants to have a meeting with you, you meet him. It's kind of like, oh, that could be fun, whatever. But to put him in the MCU, where would that go?
It feels like all the feedback was kind of like the nice way of them not saying your acting's not really there, buddy.
You're just too big for us.
Yeah, you're just too big. You're too recognizable.
Yeah.
Hey, something that concerns me, movie theater owners. What worries me about the war on Paramount and Warner Brothers. This is from Variety or Hollywood Reporter, actually. You've got the story. Let's go, Badger.
Theater owner argues Paramount Warner merger could actually help movie theaters. Corey Jacobson, owner of Phoenix Theaters and a nearly 50-year veteran of the movie exhibition business, argues that regulators should look beyond the obvious concerns about consolidation when evaluating the proposed Paramount Skydance Warner Brothers Discovery merger. Jacobson's central argument is simple. Movie theaters can't survive without a steady supply of movies people want to see. While better seats, sound systems, projection, and customer experiences can bring people into theaters, exhibitors ultimately depend on studios continuing to finance, produce, and release major films. He argues that the health of studios is therefore just as important to theaters as competition between studios. Jacobson pushes back against the idea that home entertainment has steadily destroyed movie theaters. He points out that VHS, DVD, and pay TV, digital rentals, and streaming actually expanded the ways studios could make money from movies, encouraging more film production. The bigger problem, he argues, is when movies reach streaming too quickly. A meaningful theatrical window gives movies time to become cultural events and allows successful theatrical releases to increase their value on streaming and other platforms. If the Paramount Warner deal is stopped, Warner Brothers would still face uncertainty over its ownership and future strategy. That uncertainty could delay decisions about which movies to develop and finance, and Hollywood operates on a long timeline. A movie that isn't approved for production today could mean an empty slot on a release calendar years from now, eventually resulting in an empty theater auditorium. Jacobson believes another period of production disruption could be particularly damaging after the pandemic and Hollywood strikes already created major gaps in the theatrical pipeline. Jacobson points to David Ellison's commitment to increase Paramount's theatrical output to at least 30 movies per year, along with meaningful exclusive theatrical windows. He believes that would directly address what theaters need: more movies, strongly marketed, and enough time in theaters to make them events.
I mean, this Paramount WBD merger has divided Hollywood. It's really civil war. But what's weird is it's like Rob Bonta fighting he's like a one man. He's fighting it. Even Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass and Spencer Pratt and Karen Bass on the same side saying, let this merger go through. Movie theaters need movies. And everyone was against the Netflix deal. It was a different reason because it would have, they're not committed to theatrical. And I think the writing is on the wall for Netflix. I mean, as someone who recently canceled Netflix, there's not much on it. And I'm sick of watching a streaming movie and going, that's a streaming movie. I don't feel fulfilled enough. And you saw last Friday, Alan, you saw a movie that could have been a streaming movie, Spa Weekend. You saw that movie. That could have been on Netflix and whatever. But for the most part, I go on Netflix. I spend more time scrolling and not finding something than settling on something and watching it. I like going to the movies, and I think that that's come back. I think Spider-Man Brand New Day and Odyssey, whatever you think of those movies, have made people realize, hey, I like going to the movies. I'll see if there's some other choice out there. Now, there's going to be a long dry spell between now and like November when Godzilla -0 opens, first week of November. But like the theater owners, and we've met them. If you go to CinemaCon, that's a convention for theater owners. They're desperate to please. This is why, please get us content. That's why Fathom Entertainment has become so popular with not only putting classic movies in theaters for people to see them probably for the first time on the big screen, but also for indie movies. There's a Jimmy Stewart biopic coming out from Fathom, I don't know, a couple months. Like, theater owners are desperate for more. And if WB goes under, and it'll go under, but it'll be sold for parts. That's what'll happen if this isn't allowed to go through. What is everyone's thoughts here on this?
I mean, you know me, Chris. I'm right there with you when it comes to going to movies. It's like my favorite thing to do. And
Same.
The first thing I thought of when it came to this whole merger is the promise that Ellison made of we're going to push 15 for Paramount and 15 for Warner Brothers. And I said, man, that's fantastic. 30 films a year, every single year. But, there was this whole, well, can they hold them to it? I mean, that's just a verbal promise. But then he came out and said to Regal and to AMC, I'll put it in writing and I'll make it a 3-year contract or whatever the case may be. And I said, oh, and then he added on top of that, we'll do full 45-day theatrical windows and then 90 days until it goes to streaming. And I said, oh, that's a home run. Let's sign them up. Let's go. Because that's exactly what this guy just said, is that the short windows, those 17 3-day or 3-weekend windows, that's what's hurting theaters, is that these movies will be on streaming like that. It's like, oh, my son, he knows if a movie is advertised and it's dropping now, it'll probably be in theaters or out of theaters and on streaming. So he can get it on Amazon or on Apple. He can get that in about a month. And when that just completely killed his enthusiasm for going to theaters. It's like, Dad, it's going to be available in a month. We're like, why are we running to the theater to see this? And then I don't have to spend all of this money parking. I don't have to spend money on popcorn. I can just eat whatever food's around the house and we can watch it here. We got a nice TV to watch it on. There we go. And that's what's hurt theaters the most. The Fall Guy was the one that really opened my eyes to this. When the Fall Guy went to streaming in like 17 days, I was like, this is unsustainable. This is absolutely unsustainable. So David Ellison putting this in writing and making this a promise, to me, this is a home run. And this is something that theaters absolutely need. So I hope it happens. But yeah, if this thing gets dragged out and David Ellison's, well, I guess, we're not going to do it. I mean, that's just going to hurt theaters overall. Not just the gap between, the movie making, like how I'm slowing everything down, but also the promises of, 45-day theatrical window, 90 days to streaming. Like that's what, honestly, that's what theaters need more than anything.
Any other thoughts from people here?
Well, it is true. Like, streaming really killed theaters, because I was of that same mindset. Something comes out in theaters, it's like, oh, well, it'll be on streaming in like a month. I'd rather watch it at home instead of spend money, especially since the quality of movies have just gone downhill. I don't want to waste my money on something that's going to be on streaming in a month. So if the quality is going down and you can get it and you can save money and watch it at home in a month, then I'm staying home. Now, if you want to get people to theaters, what he is offering is an incredible thing. Like I've been enjoying. It's not just Spider-Man Brand New Day and the Odyssey. Like, there's been a few movies that I've enjoyed watching at the movie theater this year so far. Project Hail Mary came out and I watched that a couple of times in theaters and I absolutely loved that movie. Then you have like Obsession that came out. Like, it's an experience, and I think that a lot of people are forgetting what that experience is like, going to the movies with a lot of people and, having fun at the movies, watching it on the big screen, eating popcorn. It's a movie experience. It's the movie going experience, that camaraderie that you have with an audience. It's an interesting thing to experience. I think a lot of people forgot about that, and liked the convenience of having a movie on streaming at home that you don't want to waste your money on. But now it looks like we're getting some better movies, some more quality movies that are going to the theaters. So this could be something really, really good for theaters because I don't want them to die out. You know, as much as I'm not really liking what Hollywood is producing right now, I would rather have a theater still be an option for me.
Yeah, and I think the thing too is people are finally starting to notice that the social element of our society got absolutely nuked, and like they're finally liking being around people again, and they're like, oh man, like this is actually cool. Like this is how you meet people. This is how you have interesting experiences instead of just being shut in your house all the time. And I mean, it's clearly. Dude, my kids have both seen Spider-Man multiple times now because they keep getting called by friends to go see it. And they're like, I've already seen it. I'll go again because it's fun going with my friends. And they just keep going back.
That's
and
great.
So, like, that's cool. I remember doing that as a kid, too.
That's how it used to be. Yeah.
Exactly. That's how it used to be. And like Seth said, though, it's like you still have to put out good stuff. You have to put out stuff that people want to see. And there is at least some decent things that have been coming out, which is helping a lot. And the industry just needs to quit shooting themselves in the foot at every turn.
Back.
Yeah. It's not like there's a lack of bad ideas. It's that they kept picking shitty ones that pushed the narrative that they wanted. But then you get something like Maverick that just does a based fucking yay America with Tom Cruise being a veteran that's not horrible and actually uses his experience to do something good. And we like it. It's like, yes, because it's not hard to do that if you're not compromised by politics.
And what I've loved seeing, this happened like back when movie theaters first opened. I got the AMC A-list. I went and got it. I don't work for them. They don't pay me any money. I am a customer of A-list. And the vow was, I'm going to go see whatever is in the theater. I'm going to go on Thursdays, all the movies that open. I'll see the movies, talk about them on Friday. I'm going to go to the movie every week. And I told people, I'll be at either Yard House or some other bar or restaurant that's around there. We pregame, we go to see the movies, we talk about it after. And that happened back when theaters reopened, I think 2021 around there, when they were kind of fully reopened. This whole, you couldn't book a seat next to someone. Remember all that? But even before that, I was going to the drive-in every weekend. I was going to the drive-in to see movies. But now there is at the AMC Burbank 16 where I go, there is a new movie meetup group they're all Gen Z kids, and they wear name tags. And they have like some Instagram group. Have you seen them, Derek?
I have. Yeah.
There's like, you're like, what are all these people with these name tags? And they pick a screening and all go see one movie. It may be good, it may be bad. They take a photo of themselves. They've turned it into a social event to meet up and hang out. I do think there is a pulling back from a screen life. Screen life has gone too far. It's not satisfying. God, I was at the grocery store. I had to download, go on an app to get a coupon code. I don't want any more apps. I don't need any more apps. I got enough. I'm done. Okay? I've deleted so many apps off my phone. I'm down to like a couple screens of this is what I use. I don't want any more. I want less time on this and more in person. And I think this is movie theaters are trying to provide that. So I would encourage any of you, wherever you live somewhere, I'm going to start a group. We go to the movies once a week, good, bad, whatever. It still costs me $25 from AMC. And I see multiple movies in 1 week. Multiple. You can see up to 4. I'm just saying.
Yep.
You want that in person? That's something you can do.
That's also A-List has the Entourage feature, which is super cool. We use that. And so you can buy your friends tickets and you don't have to say anything or whatever, since they already have A-List. You're just like, you just get all your seats together. And we have a group of my buddies that do that regularly. And it's great because it's just like, hey, look, tickets are on sale. You grab everybody's tickets and you just go. It's super cool.
I just want to say, like, a perfect example of that. It's not that there's not good ideas. It's just that they don't know how to choose them, is Blade. right? They had him for
Yes,
7
yes.
years.
Yeah.
And even though he said that thing about, well, we didn't want to just put him in a leather trench coat and have him killing vampires. No, motherfucker, that's all you had to do. But they didn't. They wanted to make it some sort of social commentary race shit, which is why it kept being about Blade's daughter and it kept being about this and anything but just what people actually wanted. Why? Because they're trying to push a narrative instead of just doing what they know people want. But if you just do what people want, you end up getting good movies again. And you end up getting video games that all of a sudden the females don't look like ugly men because you stopped trying to put, I'm looking at you, Fable. You stopped trying to push a message and you just did what you knew would resonate with the majority of the people.
And I'll take the Andy Rooney comment. I used to watch him when I was a kid. I used to watch Andy Rooney on 60 Minutes. Of all shows, I watched him. And like,
did you see the Green Lantern episode where they did a spot on him in 60 Minutes?
Really? I didn't see that.
It's a joke. It was in the show. I was kidding. The 60-minute interview.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. All right. We're going to wrap up and go to our comments here.
One Punch fan for 3. A compromise, Chris. Just spend no more than 10 minutes on Lantern's review.
I think that's fair. We'll do a short review every Monday. Sorry, and I'm not going to force you guys to see it, but we're going to watch it. So Alan and I and Badger probably. Badger, are you in?
Now. Yeah, I'm going to keep watching it. Yeah.
I'll do it. Are
Yeah,
we
I'm gonna watch it anyway.
I'm watching it.
Okay, okay.
I'm doing watch parties, so.
Okay,
we can
good.
do a
Enough
drinking
people are
game.
watching it, so I don't.
I feel like Spectre. I'm just watching the end of the universe.
We will do brief panel review every Monday.
Just record me saying it sucks.
yes.
One Punch Man for another 3.
Video, Alan.
Alan's grandson, Gore-ing Diaper Fund.
Oh, thank you.
There you go. Alan needs diapers.
Abandoned World TV for 1. I'm new here. Can I get a follow, please?
Yeah, my grandson needs diapers.
I'm
not there
follow
yet.
where? From
Rumble.
From where?
The Rumble.
Rumble. Yeah. it's
Rumble. It's Rumble.
Rumble.
Rant.
How do we?
Abandoned World
Okay.
TV.
Remember to do that, Lori, because
Yeah.
I won't. But yes, we'll do that.
One Punch fan for 3. Free Palestine. No thanks. Not even if they pay me $1 trillion.
I just think whenever anyone brings that up, I feel like I want to respond to. I want to say, sir, this is a Wendy's.
Yeah.
Like that's not, like
Right.
this is. We're talking movies. Seinfeld is a comedian. What like I'm tired of these obsessives, and I've seen these kids in. They sometimes pop up and they do some protests and they try to get people to honk, and nobody honks. Nobody honks. I think there's an exhaustion toward this, and there's a lot of misinformation. So there you go.
Graph Web for 2 in the name of all that is holy. Hashtag cancel Disney Plus. Yes, thank you, Graph Web. And then he sealed it with 2 jewels.
Thank you for the
Terrorisms.
jewels.
Lammin LGO for 65 Swedish kroner. Johnny Depp's Ebenezer scored 80 out of 100 in the test screening, which normally is 72, and Depp himself scored 90. Women over 35 gave the highest rating. He is back.
I think that movie Ebenezer, the timing of it coming out at the holidays, it's perfect.
Yeah.
You're gonna have those holiday feels. You're gonna go in and it's like comfort. That movie is comfort food. That's what it is.
I'm
And
looking
perfect.
forward
It
to
looks
it.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
hope
gonna
it's
be.
woke, yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's gonna be woke.
Andrew Cram for 350 jewels.
Oh,
Shout out.
thanks.
Andy Likes Stuff Channel for 10 jewels. Happy poop. Yay.
Thanks for the happy boo.
Albert Not a Retro for 10. Hail Steph, High Priestess of the Cult of Spicy Slayer, of She-Hulks, Destroyer of the Coven on the View, Crusher of Trendy Bimbos, Bane of Zegler, Smasher of Lively, and Alcock's Kryptonite. Who's next?
All the Lindsay Clancy supporters on TikTok.
Oh my god, that
All of
Dude.
that.
okay. we have
Every
not talked
single
about-
one.
That is. Have
Bro.
you heard that men are using their wives that support that to
Yeah.
like in their divorce cases
Mhm.
and
Oh, yeah.
custody cases.
Mhm.
They should.
I mean,
As they
It's
should.
it's good evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's frightening.
Albert Not a Retro for 5. Oh man, Derek, I'm sorry. That dang Caucasian cataracts got me again. I've eye drops now, so it's getting better. Yeah.
I ain't nowhere near Rippa and Dante, man. You got a real vision problem.
Andrew Cram for 10. When did Mr. Gunn introduce the Flash in his universe?
Not yet.
Never.
Yeah.
Unless it's such a mess. And I'm at the point where I don't care because he said, well, the Suicide Squad is in it, but Peacemaker's in it because it's my character. And then so it's all I just tell some good stories.
In the Justice Gang, the Hall for the Justice Gang, in the mural, there was people that thought it was Jay Garrick, but it's actually Johnny Quick, which is a speedster, but he's no Flash. And I think the last time he was asked, he said he didn't know if the Flash even existed. And if he did, he didn't know which one, and that he should do a podcast with his wife and Diebeard from Peacemaker, Steve Agee, and they could figure out what was canon and what wasn't.
Hey, was he in the end credits or for Peacemaker season 2? Remember they redid it and they did that end credits. Did they have the Flash in that?
No, they redid it with the Justice Gang. So
it was just
Supergirl
Justice Gang. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I think this is the real reason Rob Bonta wants to prevent the merger.
Dr. Fauci's pardon prison butt for 5. Leftists are willing to destroy Warner just to keep their boomer brainwashing network CNN out of the hands of the Ellisons. Pure mental illness. Yeah, that's.
I just say they're not even watching CNN.
Nope.
So
yeah, it's the audience is so small. I don't think the Ellisons even care. It's they'll just scale the budget to what it's making, and yeah, I could be sold off. Which maybe be smart.
Liam for 1,000 joules trophy cake.
Thanks for cake.
Batfan 99 for 5. How do we save our favorite franchises when voting with our wallets and honest reviewing doesn't seem to work?
I think give it time. I think this merger, there's some elements. That's why everything Gunn. They put together the writers' room for season 2 of Lanterns. Have you heard that?
They say that, but that's the writers themselves that took it about to start talking about it. They haven't been greenlit.
But exactly. Yeah. So writers' room, very cheap. Gunn can approve that. It's a few writers' salaries, right? But actually greenlighting the series, that's different. So
yeah.
Albert Not a Retro for 5. Let's see Shaq and Cena double team Gunn's wife. Well, Gunn would like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my, that discussion before, we showed that scene, which we'll have to cut out. That scene with Jon Stewart and the Gilf. Is it Gilf or Gilf?
Gilf.
Milf.
Thanks.
Gilf,
I knew one of you would know.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, been
Jon
there, done
Stewart
that.
And the Gilf, because I don't remember her name. I don't care. The conversation even before that about your white man, was so it was so bizarre. Who fucking writes that shit? I just want to know.
Yeah, I thought we were past all of that. Lindelof.
Yeah,
he's and King, right? Because he's involved with this too.
Ostensibly, that entire scene was just to explain why he had a fucking militia and why he was so focused on aliens. It was like, he's fucking rich and eccentric. He can play cowboys. But it turned into a whole lecture on white man privilege or whatever.
Right.
Pilgrim Media for 2. I miss 1980s theater experience. I'm a dinosaur.
Yeah. Oh, same.
Yeah, man.
Same. God, man. Going to the movies in the 80s was a fucking event. It was so fun on a weekend.
You just show up and with your buddies, and then you walk into the dark theater and you don't know where anything's at, and you're just trying to find a couple of seats together.
Yes.
It was always an adventure, man. It's like, dude, I didn't. Okay, we got 2 seats over here. We got 1 seat up there. We got 5 seats back. Everybody just find a seat, sit down, throw a blanket over it or a jacket or whatever to hold your seats while you go and get popcorn. It was fun.
By the way, did you ever go to the Del Amo Mall on a Friday night?
Oh man, I look, man, the Man Theater at the Del Amo Mall and the UA inside the mall. I went to both of them, man. It was fun.
God, and then
that was crazy though.
It was late on Friday or Saturday. You'd hear a bottle roll down.
By the way, the Man Theater was the Old Town Mall.
That was great.
The Man Theater was the Old Town Mall, by the way.
The Old Town Mall was the best, man.
Yeah.
Albert, not
Oh,
a
I
retro
love
for
that.
5. Used to be a movie game out. Used to be a movie came out, no VHS or DVD for a year, then TV after. They should go back to that. And episodic weekly TV is built anticipation.
They could decide to do that. All of the wrong choices made in reaction to streaming has destroyed this industry. You see like Matt Damon or other people talk about how there was a business model that worked. And some movies bombed in theaters and then were a hit on DVD or, whatnot. There was secondary market revenue. All that's gone. Now DVD is like a fringe market. Although I did just get Project Hail Mary on 4K. I got it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got it. I'm just saying,
Well,
I don't know why do you do that? It's like the industry committed suicide looking at let Netflix do what they do. Let them see how easy this is. And that's I really think, as someone who canceled Netflix, and I was a subscriber when they were sending out discs, and I canceled a couple months ago, and it was weird. It's like, I'm spending $20 a month. I don't watch $20 a month worth of stuff on this. Sorry, you're about to say something, Blaine.
Yeah. I was just going to say, if we think that physical media is a niche market now, just wait until Sony and Xbox pull disc drives out of their freaking consoles, because that's how everybody's watching movies right now, is on their freaking Xboxes and stuff. Once they pull those, we might as well say goodbye to physical movie and TV show media. Like, it's almost guaranteed to be gone.
Yeah.
Graph Web for 2 for another 2. Shout out.
Thank you for that.
Thanks to the mods.
Oh wait,
Fourth
that's
off.
no. We got a few more here.
The A Serious Man for 5. I found Award This winner Primitive War on DVD at my local library. Finally going to give it a watch.
Hey, the Serious Man, I know you. We have met and hung out in real life. And not only that, this year's Award This on February 6th, 2027 will be epic. Everyone here is invited. You should come to this real award show. It's a lot of fun. Free drinks, gift bags for all. And check out that movie, Primitive War. I just contributed to his Kickstarter.
By the way, 2 of our favorite movies, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, and Nirvana the Band, the show, the movie, are on Disney Plus.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Jean Hu gifted 5 Film Threat memberships.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Zeitgeist Ruminator for 5. Regarding Star Trek puppets, what is the point of turning the characters into a Star Trek parody when the show is already a Star Trek parody?
Bingo. That is absolutely true. It's just doesn't feel like real Trek. It feels like people that don't have what Trek was so good at. Look at those original series episodes. Yes, some of it is dated, but they were morality tales, and it was effectively a Western in many ways. It was just, and they wrote around the fact that they had no money. They had no money, and they wrote around it and recycled sets. They walked by the same cliffside set, whatever, those rock formations. It was fine. It worked great. I don't know. Depressing.
Pilgrim Media for 2. If you don't own digital media, piracy isn't theft.
Well, there you are. We're going to end it there. And thanks to our mods, Lord Thoth, MK Solid, ADLS24, Ololique on Rumble. And thank you to everyone who sent in a soup and supports the channel. Atomic Lori, our producer. Thank you to Alan. And our panelists. Let's go around the horn, plug your channel. I appreciate you guys showing up. You could be off camera, checking email like Alan is doing right now. Are you checking?
Yes, I am checking email.
I would be happy. First of all, check out that shirt.
Yes, there we go.
I love that.
Let's go.
Available at shop.filmthreat.com. Alan in the Doomsday shirt. But appreciate the panelists. Come by when you can. Appreciate you. I'm sorry for lanterns. We're going to talk about it. Oh my God. Let's go around.
Steph, My Nerdy Home. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter I stream almost every day.
Thanks, Steph.
Derek Anderson, the DA. I'll be going live tomorrow night on the Nightcap, Tuesdays and Thursday nights, and then, of course, videos every day. See you guys.
Blaine with Criticless.com. You can go and check out the website, go review some movies, go review Lanterns, because you can review shows on there as well. And then you can find me on Criticless Cast too. Do that.
Badgercast coming up. We're going to talk about Lanterns a little bit and also all the Batman stuff. How we are getting the Batman Part 2, but DCU Batman, no. That's not going to happen.
Oh.
And then Wednesday, Hollywood on the Rocks, we're talking with the director of Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, the reboot, as well as the original screenwriter of Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
That is going to be great. First of all, have you ever seen Attack of the Killer Tomatoes?
Yes, I have. It was on
great.
show. We had Showtime for a year, and it played constantly on Showtime.
That movie, it was made in San Diego, and you know who stars in it? George Clooney. One of the early. That's who's in it. We'll talk all that, and then
and let's all sing "Puberty Love" together. Shall we?
What?
Puberty
Wait a
Love.
sec. Right here, from Albert. Maybe Steph, you can read this.
Where's my hail, Steph? I answered you in the chat. My answer was the crazy TikTok moms.
Oh my God, that situation is awful. Thank you, everyone. We'll be back Wednesday, and we'll be back Friday and doing our thing. Alan,
Let's get out of here.